Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. When Eric Braeden returned home, or to the property that was once his home, he didn't go alone. Entertainment Tonight accompanied him. I left as Roger Park was burning. He said the fire hadn't jumped the canyon, yet sadly jump it did as the young and restless legend approached his old address. He marveled, "Oh boy, look at that, it's all burned down, man." The Emmy Winter had spent 45 years at that residence with his family, and it was all reduced to rubble. Needless to say, Victor's portrayer was deeply affected, more so than even he had anticipated. "I didn't think it would hit me this much," he admitted. "I'm devastated." As Brighton looked out at the devastation, he was struck by all memories. "I don't want my family to see this." Even as he watched the news of what was transpiring, "I never imagined this." Braeden went on to recall his son's high school blowouts and the Christmas songs that had been sung at this most special of locations. "I grew up during the Second World War. The destruction was the same. I always thought, if that hillside there goes aflame, it could easily jump, and it never has in 45 years, and now it did. It's such a feeling of loss, indescribable," he continued. "It leaves you totally disoriented." Braeden may have been down, but he was most definitely not out. He expressed his hope that he and his wife would rebuild. "We're getting on in age." But later in the emotional interview, Braeden recalled that he'd looked at some 30 homes in the area before settling on his. "I knew it was the one instantly," he said. Only afterwards did he find out that it had previously belonged to a writer for Seinfeld, one of the shows that I admired the most. "The first time I saw the ruins, it felt like I was staring in an open wound, raw, bleeding, and irreparable. The charred frame of what was once a home stood before me like the skeletal remains of a life I once knew, a life that had been abruptly snatched away by the cruel, unrelenting force of fire. I never imagined I'd return here. Not like this. When the fire came, it took everything but the memories. I remember that night like it was yesterday, the sharp scent of smoke in the air, the panic that gripped my chest as I grabbed a few things I could carry, and a horrifying sight of flames licking the sky, devouring the walls I had known so well. My heart broke with each snap and crackle of burning wood, as if the house itself was mourning its own death. It was the first time I ever truly understood how fragile life is, how something can be so firmly entrenched in your identity, and then in a matter of hours be gone. But now, standing here, on this cold January morning, all that remains is ash and silence. I can hear the wind, a mournful whisper threading through the twisted metal of what used to be the front door. The ground is still scorched in places, and the smell of burnt earth lingers stubborn and unyielding. I can't help but trace the outline of where the walls once stood, imagining the spaces, the ruins, the life that had unfolded here. I had to come back. I had to see it for myself. Maybe it was the final step in a long, painful process of letting go, or maybe it was just that despite everything, a part of me still clung to the idea of home, of the warmth, the laughter, the love that had filled this space before it all fell apart. There's something hauntingly beautiful about ruins. There's a strange, tender grace in the way they stand, not defeated but enduring, like the earth is holding on to what once was, unwilling to completely release it. Maybe it's because the past never truly fades, it lingers, sometimes in the background, sometimes in the quietest moments when you least expect it. I can still hear my mother's voice in the kitchen, calling us to dinner, or the sound of my father's footsteps as he came home late from work. A steady rhythm that had always reassured me. Those sounds are gone now, erased by time and fire, but they still echo in the corners of my mind, as if they never left. As I walk through the remnants of the house, each step feels heavy, weighted with loss. There's no longer a floor beneath me, no familiar creak of the wooden beam underfoot. The ceiling has collapsed, leaving a jagged scar across the sky. I find myself standing in the spot where the living room once was, where we had sat on Christmas mornings, surrounded by laughter and gifts. There's no trace of the fireplace that had been the heart of our home, no evidence of the comfort it had provided during the long, cold Winter's all that's left is a blackened, crumbling heap, a hollow reminder of what was. Tears well in my eyes, but I don't let them fall. Not yet. The grief is too fresh, too raw. It's not the fire that has taken everything, it's the years of slow erosion that followed. The quiet pain of remembering home wasn't just a house, it was a feeling, a presence, and energy that enveloped you the moment you stepped through the door. And now that feeling is gone, buried beneath the rubble of what was once a place of safety and love. I kneel down and pick up a piece of brick, smooth and blackened by the fire. It feels heavy in my hand, and for a moment, I wonder if I'm holding more than just a remnant of the past. Maybe I'm holding all the broken pieces of myself that have yet to heal, the ones that were scattered like ashes when the fire took everything away, leaving nothing but a void. The quiet is oppressive, and I realized how much I had forgotten about this place, the way the light used to filter through the windows, casting shadows on the wooden floors, the way the walls seemed to hum with life, filled with our stories and secrets. Even the small details, the creak of the floorboards in the hallway, the scent of rain on the porch, the way the kitchen always felt warm, no matter how cold it was outside, are all gone, erased from existence like footprints in the sand. But in the silence I hear something else, a whisper, faint and distant, but undeniably real. It's not the house, but something deeper, something inside me, a voice that reminds me of the strength I never knew I had, the resilience that lies dormant in the heart, waiting to be awakened when you least expect it. The fire may have taken everything physical, but it could never destroy the core of who I am, the essence of my spirit, my family's legacy. I am not the ashes, I am not the ruins, I am what remains, the love, the memories, the lessons learned. I stand up, feeling a surge of determination rise within me. There's nothing left here to save, but that doesn't mean I can't carry it forward. There's something in me now, a seed of hope that refuses to be extinguished. Maybe it's time to rebuild, not just the house, but everything else. The fire may have burned away the past, but it can never erase the future. As I turn to leave the ruins behind, I feel a strange sense of peace. The weight of grief still lingers, but it's lighter now, tempered by something stronger, something unbroken. The memory of home, of what was, will always be a part of me. But now it's time to build something new, not from the remains of the past, but from the strength I found within myself. And as I take my first step away from the ruins, I realize that the house may have burned down, but I am still here. Home is not just a place, it's the love we carry with us, the people we become, and the strength we find even in the darkest moments. It's always within us, and no fire can ever take that away.